Over the past year, I got so caught up in the running shoes that had some kind of wow effect that I completely forgot about the whole category of shoes for daily training. The category of shoes that are not supposed to get in our way during regular mileage. We're just supposed to put them on, run, and forget about them until the next training session. But these shoes are important too because they often help us maintain consistency. And today I present to you a review of a model that meets exactly these expectations. Here is the Asics Gel-Cumulus 27. Hi, I'm Michał, an amateur runner deeply into the topic of running shoes. On this channel I review gear, shoes and discuss various running related topics, so if that's something that interests you, feel free to subscribe and comment. That really helps me reaching new people. Thanks. Before I move on into my running impressions in the Asics Gel-Cumulus 27, I have to mention that I received these shoes for review from Asics, but no one had any influence over my opinions presented here and no one saw this material before you did. I'm also not affiliated with any store or brand producing running shoes. As always, we start with the technical details. The Asics Gel-Cumulus 27 are training shoes with increased cushioning. They are primarily designed for easy daily training and longer runs. The upper is made of jacquard mesh, fairly dense but at the same time allowing a lot of air to pass through, so your foot won't overheat even on warmer days. It's pleasant to the touch and gives a real sense of quality. The rear part of the shoe has additional plush padding around the heel and reinforced heel canter, and also a stretchy element that makes putting on the shoe easier. I have no complaints here, it's comfortable and soft but not overly so, and the rigid heel canter holds the foot in place well. The lacing is standard and there's also an extra hole for a heel lock, though I didn't need to use it. The thong is gusseted and the laces go through it so it doesn't shift to the sides. It's relatively thin, which surprised me a bit because shoes of this type usually have super plush tongues. Here the material isn't too thick, but there are extra cushions on the sides for added comfort. After running over 100 kilometers in these shoes, I have nothing to complain about in this regard. The amount of space in this shoe is fairly standard. They are neither very narrow nor excessively wide. For my feet, they fit just right. The midsole is made of FF Blast Plus foam, known from the third version of the Nova Blast. It's soft but more towards the middle of the spectrum rather than the extreme. This of course provides comfort during easy and long runs. The pure gel under the heel certainly helps, especially for those who land on their heels. In this area, the midsole is noticeably softer, reducing the impact on the joints compared to the standard foam. Under the FF Blast Plus foam, there's also a thinner layer of fluid ride which serves as the outsole. It's simply a mix of foam and rubber, increasing durability while maintaining softness and grip. The Asics Gel-Cumulus 27 has 38.5 mm of foam under the heel and 30.5 mm under the forefoot, giving it an 8 mm drop. That's exactly the same height as in the 26th version, no changes in this aspect. And now for the weight. In the reference sizes, the men's version weighs 265 grams and the women's version 230 grams. In my size, 46, it's 304 grams. Theoretically a lot, but for this category of shoes, I'd say it's a standard result and I won't criticize it at all. And at the end of this section, I also have to mention that, as always with Asics, I wear shoes one size bigger than usual, instead of 45, which I wear almost everywhere else. So here I take 46 EU. Now for my impressions of running in Asics Gel-Cumulus 27. What I liked most during training in the Asics Gel-Cumulus 27 was simply the pure enjoyment of running. These are shoes that don't overwhelm you with technological innovations, don't encourage you to speed up. They provide comfort, a lot of comfort for easy mileage. After a while, you forget you're wearing them and can peacefully focus on listening to the music or podcast and just run. The foam isn't as soft as in the Nova Blast, nor is there as much of it as in the Nimbus. but that didn't bother me at all. There's enough cushioning, the upper holds the foot well, and ground feel is minimal, just how I like it for road shoes. Even on longer runs, these advantages remain, though I must admit that I didn't run more than 15 kilometers in the Cumulus at once. Another plus is that despite weighing around 300 grams in my size, you don't really notice it while running. And what else do I like? The upper. It feels premium to the touch, even has a slight shine under light. And while the colorway isn't 100% my style, it has something to it and looks really good. A nice detail is the elastic loop on the heel that makes putting them on easier. I know many shoes have this, but here I actually used it and it really sped up putting them on. And what about the negatives? I don't have any major complaints. Asics Gel-Cumulus 27 are just solid daily trainers. The only thing that I'm somewhat concerned about is the outsole, which is a mix of foam and rubber. I'm a bit worried that its durability maybe will not be this good, and on wet asphalt it doesn't perform as well as traditional rubber outsole. I could also nitpick about the shoes dynamics, but that wouldn't be fair to Asics. These weren't designed to be fast. They are meant for easy daily training. Of course, I still took them to the track for some short intervals, and as expected, nothing special, but that doesn't impact my overall assessment. It remains very positive. Let's quickly see where the Asics Gel-Cumulus 27 fits into the shoe rotation. I'd use them as daily trainers and possibly for long, easy runs, shoes for most of the weekly mileage and recovery runs. For long runs, especially progressive ones with marathon pace segments, I'd go for my 2024 shoe of the year, so the Asics Super Blast 2. Fantastic shoes, the longer the run, the better they feel. For speed work, I'd pick the Asics Magic Speed 4, shoes with a plate that works well for both intervals and tempo runs. And for races, Asics Metaspeed Sky Paris or Metaspeed Edge Paris, great ultralight racing shoes, among the best we got last year. The Asics Gel-Cumulus 27 costs €160 and is honestly a bit too expensive, although not disconnected from the current market reality. The market has simply gone crazy, and for such shoes they ask around €160. So what instead? We are looking for something with a similar profile, similar midsole softness and overall similar feel. I see two options. The first one is Hoka Clifton 9. In many ways, this is a twin proposition. The main differences here are in the shape of the upper, so it's worth choosing something that better suits your foot. You can currently buy the Clifton for €150 and cheaper, but it's worth considering that this model is almost 2 years old, which is why the price is much more competitive. And the second is the New Balance 880 V15. These are shoes that have gained softness in the new edition and have shifted a bit more towards training shoes for easy mileage. The fresh foam midsole in terms of comfort can certainly match the FF Blast Plus foam. However, these are slightly heavier shoes and you can buy the new ones for €160, so the same as the Cumulus. Let's quickly summarize. Are the Asics Gel-Cumulus 27 shoes that change the face of the running shoe market? Definitely not. Is this something innovative? Also no. But do I recommend them? I do. These are just simply decent shoes for daily training, no extravagance, no gimmicks, but with comfort and pleasant running sensations. If I had to rate them on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give them a strong 7, a solid choice, shoes from which you will likely squeeze out a lot of easy kilometers. They will also work for a beginner runner looking for their first pair of running shoes, a runner weighing up to about 90 kilograms. The cushioning here is definitely sufficient. If you made it to this point, thank you for watching, and I encourage you to subscribe, like and comment on this video. I'd love to hear what you think about these shoes. Also check out my Instagram and TikTok. You'll find all the links in the descriptions. I will see you in the next video.